You know, guys, it's really starting to feel like we are watching a train wreck in slow motion. So many of us can see the moving parts that are about to collide, while you've got other people looking straight ahead, and everybody else is yelling, "Brace for impact." This slow march to fascism is coming to a light jog or even a moderate sprint. And the speech Donald Trump just gave at Fort Bragg yesterday should be a 5-alarm fire to anybody who loves this country. Now, luckily, we have a chance to push back against this authoritarian regime. Make sure you go to nokings.org to find a protest near you on June 14th. We need to come together and say, this is not how things are supposed to be working in the United States of America. So make sure to get involved with the No Kings protest on June 14th. Now, I want to go ahead and take a look at this speech, because I really do think we kind of crossed a Rubicon where you've got people in military fatigues, people who are supposed to be protecting our country, who are now aligning themselves with the fascist that stands before them. It is a chilling thing to witness. Let's go ahead and start off with this clip where Donald Trump is basically goading these guys into booing the previous commander-in-chief. This is unprecedented territory, guys. If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
But remember, it was only that little brief moment that it wasn't called Fort Bragg. It was by the Biden administration, not Trump. I had nothing to do with it. We got it changed. We said, you know, I came here numerous times and everybody, they kept saying Fort Bragg, Fort Bragg. I said, you know, it's not the name, but then I was making a speech. I said, what do you think I should call this place? Call it Fort Bragg. I said, Fort Bragg, how you doing?
This is just completely inappropriate for people in service uniforms to be booing the previous commander-in-chief. And I would be calling this stuff out if it was Biden getting out there and trying to get people to boo Donald Trump. This is not what the military is supposed to be used for. They are supposed to be a non-political body who protects the United States and all of its constituents. It's not supposed to be an organization that aligns itself with a fascist and starts to shit-talk previous presidents. That is not how our military is conceived, not how it is supposed to work, and it should be unacceptable to anybody who has respect for this country and the military as an organization. They then go on to further cheer for the fake news chants, or not chants, but degradation from Donald Trump.
And for a little news for the fake news back there, the fake news. Ladies and gentlemen, look at them. Look at them all. Oh, what I have to put up with. Fake news. What I have to put up with. But they're all right. They've been very nice today. They were impressed with that display, I can tell you that. I think it took them a little by surprise.
I mean, what is going on here? You've got people in military fatigues who are getting behind a president who is bashing the media? Something that is supposed to be protected by our First Amendment? The most important of our rights? The freedom of the press? The freedom of speech? And now you've got the military who's supposed to be defending that Constitution, bashing the media? Again, we have crossed a Rubicon. Now, I'm not saying that all military members are necessarily in line with Donald Trump, but when you've got him giving a speech in front of Fort Bragg and you've got the majority of people behind him who are celebrating this shit, we are in it's a whole nother level of unhinged. Especially when you consider that Donald Trump has troops deployed to LA right now based on a false story of widespread violence. We are in dark times. Let's just put it that way. Donald Trump goes on to say that we are going to, roll back all of these name changes. See what he has to say.
But for a little breaking news, we are also going to be restoring the names to Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon, Fort Rucker, Fort Polk, Fort A.P. Hill, and Fort Robert E. Lee. We won a lot of battles out of those forts. It's no time to change. And I'm superstitious, you know, I like to keep it going, right? I'm very superstitious. We want to keep it going. So that's a big story. We just announced that today to you for the first time. They said, why didn't you wait till Saturday? I said, I can't wait. I got to talk to my friends here today. This is a record crowd. You know, you never had a crowd this big. That's an honor. You think this crowd would have showed up for Biden? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong.
So just think about how insane this is, guys. You've got a president promising to roll back the names to Confederates, people who are considered traitors to this country. Is that where we're at now? Donald Trump is trying to return us to a white America or something that resembles something closer to the Confederacy? I mean, is that really what we are doing here? And you've got the military cheering him on? People who lost the Civil War, people who are traitors to this country, who led an uprising against the United States and the ideas that it stands for. And now we're going to be rolling back these names to Confederates, and the military in this shot is cheering it on. Then he goes ahead and makes it about himself again, of course. Oh, Biden would have never been able to draw these crowds. I'm at a loss for words with this one. I grew up a military brat. Bringing politics into the military was considered a no-no on every single level. It just wasn't okay. And so to see men and women in uniform cheering on the renaming to people in the Confederacy who are, you know, bashing a previous president, bashing the fake news, I'm really at a loss for words. He goes on to discuss what's going on in LA right now.
Generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen. It's never going to happen. What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order, and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion of our country. We're not going to let that happen. Remember, millions of people were allowed to come into our country totally unchecked and unvetted by stupid people or radical left people or sick people. But regardless, open border policy, the dumbest policy yet. I would say even dumber than men playing in women's sports, transgender for everyone.
Listen to the language that he's using here, guys. Foreign invaders carrying out an invasion against our country, flying foreign flags, while he talks about immigrants who mostly are in this country legally, who reside here, who call their home here. And you got a president of the United States saying, we've got a whole bunch of unrest in LA. We got to get things under control. I mean, spoken like a true fascist. He makes up a story to give himself the authority to start doling out the military where he sees fit against the people of the United States of America. And then he goes on to bash trans people in the very same sentence. And you've got the military standing behind him, cheering it on the entire way. I am moved in all of the wrong ways by what I am witnessing here. This is a disgrace to the military. And we've even seen veterans start to speak out against what they witnessed here, because it is just so antithetical to what the military in the United States is supposed to be, is supposed to represent. And now you got them lining up behind a fascist who is currently trying an authoritarian power grab in blue cities And they don't seem to care at all. It gets worse. Here he talks about stripping away one of the fundamental rights that Americans hold.
People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year. That's what they should be doing. 1 year. And we'll see if we can get that done. We're going to try and get that done. We're working with some of your senators.
Burning the flag, as grotesque as it might make you feel, as shitty as it may be for somebody to burn the American flag, that is a First Amendment right, upheld by the Supreme Court time and time and time again. It is protected under the First Amendment. Now, does that mean that I advocate for the burning of the American flag? Of course not. But I do protect the rights that people have in this country, the First Amendment being one of those rights. And now you've got the military cheering on a guy, a fascist, an authoritarian, who's saying, yeah, we should take that right away. We should take that First Amendment away from the people who burn the American flag. And they're cheering without a care in the world. Does anybody else understand the gravity of what we are witnessing here? Again, I'm at a loss for words. We have crossed a Rubicon. We have crossed a threshold. And I'm afraid that things are only going to get worse as this wannabe authoritarian tries to continue to grab more power. And it is quite chilling that people in military fatigues are cheering the fascist fuck along. That should be terrifying to each and every one of you out there who loves this country. I'll show you this one last clip. Basically, Trump getting the troops to turn against a governor and a mayor.
In Los Angeles, the governor of California, the mayor of Los Angeles, they're incompetent, and they paid troublemakers, agitators, and insurrectionists. They're engaged in this willful attempt to nullify federal law.
Did you hear what he said there? That Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass paid these outside agitators to cause chaos in the city of Los Angeles. That is the claim that he just made. What sense would that make? If anything that would be more likely, it's that Donald Trump paid some people to go start shit in Los Angeles to give himself the reason to start deploying the National Guard and the Marines. That seems like a much more plausible story to me. But here you got the President of the United States making those claims about the governor of California and the mayor of Los Angeles without putting forward any evidence at all while he is speaking to people who serve in our military. Now, of course, I don't have any evidence not alleging that Donald Trump paid people to go into LA to start causing chaos, but that story seems a bit more credible than Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass, paying people to try to burn down their own city. Makes a much more sense to me. Donald Trump is likely using LA as a test case right now to see what he can get away with, to see how things kind of work, to see how he can abuse his power. And now he's giving speeches to the military, and they seem to be just cheering this shit on. Again, guys, we are in a dark time right now in this country. We have a wannabe authoritarian who is trying to, bring that march to fascism to a full-bore sprint. And it appears to be working. Again, we have an opportunity to push back against this nonsense. June 14th, this Saturday, you can get involved in the No Kings protests. Go to nokings.org to look up a protest near you, get involved, build some community, push back against this authoritarian regime. And again, we need to tell these fucks that this is not what America is supposed to be about. And I'm just wondering for myself, when are the real patriots going to show up? Instead, I'm looking at a whole bunch of people in military garb cheering along a fascist as he continues to cause chaos in parts of our country. When are the real patriots going to show up? That's what you and I are for. That's why we can show up, we can turn out. June 14th, no King's protest. Do it peacefully, come together. We will make it through this dark time in history. As brutal as it may be, we will make it through. We'll make it through, guys. So, I will leave it there for now. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We are trying to build something here on the left that adequately pushes back against the right-wing media ecosystem that just launders all of this fascist nonsense for Donald Trump day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. It is free. And if you guys want to see how Donald Trump has just basically lost his mind, is living in a fantasy bubble, and using conspiracies to base his decisions off of, check out his latest Oval Office appearance. It is quite wacky. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.